Hello, YouTube! Spazie coming at you. Got plenty next to me, obviously. Today, it's time to take a look at Kog'Maw, the walking piranha. For those of you who don't understand that reference, feel free to check out this link. One of the longest ranged AD carries in this game. Let's take a look how I play him, her, it, like a boss. Start with those abilities. Kog'Maw's passive, Icathian Surprise. I think that's how it's pronounced. Upon dying, Kog'Maw starts a chain reaction in his body, which causes him to move faster and detonate after 4 seconds, dealing 100 plus 25 times champion level true damage to surrounding enemies. Now this ability is definitely not a reason for Kog'Maw to go suicidal, but it can actually help you secure a kill if you die. Kog'Maw's Q is called Caustic Spittle, and passively it increases attack speed by 10 to 30% depending on skill level. Actively though, it's a single target non-skill shot debuff that deals magic damage and reduces the target's armor and magic resist for 4 seconds. The range of the active is kinda short in comparison to Kog'Maw's late game auto attack range, so use this defensively if you want to put the hurt on someone getting too close to you. Bio-Arcane Barrage, what a great ability indeed. For 8 seconds, Kog'Maw's attack gain range, and deal a percentage of the target's maximum health as magic damage. Now this caps at 210 range, which is insane by the way, and 6% of the target's maximum health as extra damage. Note though that it will only deal 100 extra damage maximum to minions, in order to keep Nasher the fearsome beast he is. Kog'Maw's E is called Void Ooze. Kog'Maw launches an Ooze which deals magic damage to enemies it passes through. Additionally, it leaves a trail which slows enemies for 4 seconds. Now this is the only CC that Kog'Maw's actually got, and it's a slow. Now it's 60% at max level, which is a great slow indeed, however it's still not a hard CC like an Ash Shower or a Caitlyn Trap, and this is why you need to be careful about your positioning in teamfights. Now this is actually a really hard thing to master, and I'm far from perfect myself. I'm gonna show you guys a couple of tricks later in this video, which will hopefully help you guys to reach the next level. Kog'Maw's ultimate, Living Artillery. Kog'Maw fires from a great distance. After a short delay, the artillery falls, dealing magic damage and reveals the target for 4 seconds. Each subsequent Living Artillery in the next 6 seconds costs 40 additional mana. Think of this just as you think of Kassadin's Riftwalk if you play that character. If you spam it, you will run out of mana. Using it on the right cooldown though will drain almost nothing. It's on a 0.5 per attack damage scaling, which will let you do some damage late game as well. Now learning how to master this long range skill shot properly will allow you to get some really cool kills from those enemies that think, hey, I'm gonna flash out on low HP and then I'll be alright. No you won't. Get your W maxed out as soon as possible for the damage and the range. Grab 1 or 2 points in Caustic Spittle to get some attack speed in there, and max your Void Oils before you go full out Caustic Spittle. Always grab Living Artillery when it's up, of course. For Masteries, I take all the physical increases damage wise and offense except Vampirism, and I grab defensive all the way down to Veteran Scars for extra health. And for those runes, I grab flat physical damage Quints, armor penetration marks, and I grab armor seals and mana regen glyphs. Now this is a bit different to the regular AD carry build you've seen me do on my other guides. Let's check that one out. Here I go with attack speed, seals and glyphs. Now the reason I grab some mana regen and armor is because Kog'Maw it really excels at being a bit more defensive in my opinion, and I like the fact that I can get attack speed off of his Q instead of my runes. So grabbing armor for seals just makes sense to me. And the mana regen is because Voidos the slow is on a pretty hefty mana cost in the beginning, so I really want to be able to use that for either poking in lane or getting away when I'm in trouble. Now from the glyphs you get about 5% attack speed, and I do feel like the mana regen is more worth it since I get attack speed off of my Q. Now let's talk about them items. I start off with boots and health pot if I don't get no sustain from my support, or I go with a Doran's Blade, you know, the usual thing. Upgrade the boots to Berserker Greaves and grab a Vampiric Scepter, maybe 1 or 2 more Doran's Blades if you had a rough start. Upgrade the Vampiric to a Bloodthirster and start working your way towards those Phantom Dancers. These items I get exclusively for Kog'Maw almost all the time, and once you've got these, you will, combined with your W, start doing the sick damage. After these items though, it's all about your setup comparison to your enemy setup, your style of gameplay, and all these other factors that you have to take into consideration when building a champion like Kog'Maw. You might want to go another Phantom Dancer for movement speed, you might want to go another Bloodthirster for more damage, or if you're a lucky Kog'Maw and they build HP, you go a Manris Bloodracer. Or you might want to go defensively, grabbing a Guardian Angel, a Frozen Mallet, or a Banshee's Veil. And if you get to the sick endgame, grab a Last Whisper and start chugging those lovely potions. let's take a look at some footage. Now, I'm gonna talk a lot about positioning in this couple of clips, and that's because, as I've said, it's particularly crucial for Kog'Maw to get that right if you want to deal the damage you need. It's all about getting those mouse clicks right. You don't want to end up like Acclamator here when he tries to play Warwick and Ninja Gank bottom.
Oh, yeah, misclick.
In this clip, Janna and Corki is starting to be a bit aggressive bottom. Sona starts taking damage, and I use my E to slow Corki down, then I activate W to start putting some damage on Janna. We'll get a great crescendo from Sona hitting both of them, and I pick up the kill with living artillery and an auto attack, and Sona makes it out alive. As Janna died, we started a Drake, and now we see Gangplank coming in there to support Cyan, who's coming from mid to interrupt it. Warwick just easily flashes out, and now they're fighting 2v3, and they are also stacking up for Brand's ultimate, which means that I can just come in, put some damage out there, and score the double kill. Never get baited by looking at the enemy's health bars only. Try and see a bit beyond that and see what is going to happen in the nearest future in order to avoid situations like this. Later in the game I make good use of my summoning abilities as well as utilizing the fact that I've got flat armor runes. Corki moves in after Janna slows, and I stand my ground putting my full combo on him and cleansing the exhaust that he puts on me immediately and picking up the kill there with living artillery. We've talked a little bit about predicting the enemy's movement in the past. I'm staying low in the lane and I know a movement is around. Janna's gonna place down that ward, we're gonna see him, he's gonna flash in bandage toss, and I'm gonna flash out just as he uses the curse of the sand mummy. Which is good because the double buff on Mumu would have definitely killed me. It's all a little bit about asking yourself prior to the engagement, can I play risky at the moment? And if worse turns to worse, can I get out? And if yes, how? Again, try and predict what could happen, because it will make it a lot easier to get out if it actually does. Try and master how to use living artillery efficiently during mid-fight, because it will greatly increase your damage output. I highly recommend smart casting for this. Here, Vayne gets caught with our full combo, and even though she flashes out of my first living artillery, she dies soonly after to my sick range. Sona falls seconds later to the same combo, and we manage to push the turret. Living artillery is also a great poke in lane, and that's also one of the reasons I got my mana regen runes on my glyphs. This little clip is to demonstrate how beautiful living artillery really is. If you get the aiming down, it really can be so much fun. So we're just gonna take the Baron here, and then we are gonna try and catch up and have a team fight. Now, because of the ultimate and because I managed to hit it quite nicely, we are gonna have a 4v5, and it's gonna be enjoyable. I'm just gonna let the clip speak for itself. And they have GP. Die, hold my blade.
Oh, we're gone.
Ah, the fun you can have. Alright guys, let's talk a little bit about positioning again. So here we're about to enter team fight. I've just gotten red, and we're just poking around here, but Amumu's gonna flash in, drop down curse, and I'm gonna cleanse it, so it's all looking good so far. Vayne's getting too close, Skarner suppresses her, I put my damage on her, so it's all looking good. Gragas there puts down a beautiful ult. I could just turn around and focus down Soraka, but instead I run it right into the Pillar of Flames, and Yorick puts some damage onto me, and Vayne there, affected by Yorick's ultimate Omen of Death, is just gonna put me out of my misery, and she's gonna get an unnecessary kill. If you manage to burst down their squishy that early in the team fight, there is no reason whatsoever for you as Kog'Maw to go in and focus down their backlines. If you can reach them, sure. But if not, just stay behind your tank, stay close to your support, and focus down the nearest enemy, and you will win. A really stupid position from me, which resulted in my death. And that about wraps up my guide to Kog'Maw. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, feel free to hit that like button, it would be really cool. And also, I love reading comments. If you have any thoughts of anything, just submit it in the comment box below. And of course, subscribe if you don't want to miss the next guide coming out. I have a couple of them already stored for the future, so just stay tuned for that. And yeah, Plant says hello, by the way. Oh, Plant, you've been standing there by the side. Come here. Oh, Planty. This is not very visual to you guys, but Plant is here and he says hello. And he also says that if you haven't checked out my other guides yet, feel free to click the links that you can find on top of this screen in order to check those out. This has been Spazie, and I am out. Do it!